And Ellen, may we have a roll call, please?
Randy Daigle,
Here?
Greg Stritch, Scott Copen,
Here.
Amy Dennis,
Here.
Caitlin Dunn,
Here.
Todd Kinnon, Kevin Margolfo, Michael Monafort,
Here.
Jeff Oken, Christine Dabani,
Here.
Andrew LaPlante,
Here.
Andrew Barrios, Gina Sakala,
Here.
Laura Youngire, Jonathan LeBlanc, Scott Ryder,
Here.
Chris Cycli,
Here.
Samantha DiAgostino,
Here.
Bruce Kellogg,
Here.
Jill Lexi,
Here.
Emily Zarnicki, Amar Shamas, Marcus Brennan,
Here.
Nate Gingerella. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Did everybody get a chance to review the regular meeting minutes dated November 4th, 2021? And if so, are there any comments or corrections?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of November 4th, 2021.
Second.
Any comments or corrections? May I have a show of hands, all in favor, please? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? One abstention.
Just because I read the minutes, but I can't confirm. I was not present, so.
Thank you very much. Unanimous other than one abstention. We do not have any committee guests this evening, so we will move right on to the architect's report. Either Jill or Bruce.
I will give it. So we are quickly approaching the next phase turnovers. I'm sure everyone's aware. So we have Area H, which is the last two-story classroom wing, and also a large portion of the hub area that will be turned over to the school shortly. So within the next 2 weeks, myself and the consultants, so the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, technology consultants will be doing our final walkthrough, which is our punch list, where we'll be going through the spaces and identifying areas that need to be corrected prior to students coming back in. And then we are also scheduling the furniture installation. So we have the week of the 13th is where the majority of the installation is going to happen as of right now. So, for example, like the Robert Lord, who's doing like all the student desks and chairs, which is a bulk of especially the classroom wing, will be there the whole week, 13th through the 17th. And then in that following week, the 20th and the 21st, we have Interscape coming, and they are doing some of the office desking systems and workstations for some of the workrooms within the hub area. In addition to that, I'm on site every Thursday, and then we also assist the school with things that come up as they start occupying in terms of like issuing bulletins. For example, the school since COVID has noticed that a lot more parents are dropping off and picking up students. So, JCJ along with Langen, who's the civil consultant, looked at sort of rearranging some of that drop-off area to hopefully alleviate some of that, extra congestion at those times. And then I think that's all I have for right now. Lots going on.
All right, Bruce, do you want to add anything?
I'm good. She's summarized it all, unless there's a question.
Any questions anybody have for the architects? All right, we are going to move on to the CMR report. So let's see. From the beginning. Oh, jeez, she told me that. She only told me once. Takes 2 times.
You did well.
All right.
Good evening,
Marcus,
everybody.
all yours.
So this is the normal intro slide, so you can go right to the second slide if you don't mind. So the next 2 slides are similar to what you've been seeing. This is a reminder of where we currently stand from building and site logistics standpoint. We are working very hard at the moment to finish and turn over the Red Wing, along with the footprint of the old auditorium. And then obviously the hallways in between the spaces will be turned over in a temporary nature, similar to the rest of the hub, as you guys saw when you walked at the end of the summer. And obviously the fencing is set up to accommodate that right now. The recent turnover that we did do, the yellow box in the upper left of the right pictorial is the gym. The gym is now completely turned over and in school's control. So they're using that actively at the moment as weather has gotten colder. If you can go to the next slide. So this next slide shows what's going to happen basically on January the 2nd or the 3rd when they come back from break. We will have under construction the old cafeteria and old kitchen area, which is current swing space for the most part. And they will have occupied that last two-story Red Wing and the middle hub as well. You see in the middle hub some yellow areas still remain. So those will be in temporary conditions, mainly because we can't connect the dots from a heating standpoint to be able to finish them and turn them over for occupancy. So these are some pictures of the current status of Red Wing, which is the two-story classroom wing. You can see this is a second floor shot. We have fully padded out the floor at this point with above ceiling inspections done. All lighting is complete. All millwork is complete. Marker boards and tack boards are up. Doors are swinging this week. The floors would be done, except we ran into a snafu with the red tile that each two-story wing had a special color, obviously, in the tile that got sporadically throughout it. When we opened up the boxes for the red, it was too small by ever so slightly. So that happened about 3 weeks ago, and we have new red tile coming Monday. So we'll be scrambling to get the flooring into this wing, but not anything that we can't accomplish in time. Thankfully, Mannington, who's the manufacturer, stepped up and pushed orders aside to fabricate our red tile and get it to us because they acknowledged an issue on their end. You go ahead to the next photo, please. So again, similar, this is a science classroom on the second floor of Red Wing, very similar to what the layouts and setup as far as the other two wings that we've completed previously. Left picture is a hallway shot of the second floor. We received lockers this week, and they're getting installed over this week and into next week. We unfortunately did not get some of the filler panels that go in between the locker bays. So we're going to work some gymnastics to get the lockers in and put the fillers in after. So when we turn over at the end of the month, you might see some temp filler panels in between the lockers. But we'll get it safe and right for a turnover. The right picture is the electric room where it serves this two-story wing. You can see all the panels are on at this point with all the conduits and rough-in complete. Bathrooms on the second floor, as of a couple days ago, all tile, all sheetrock complete. As of this morning, the toilet partitions are actually up in this bathroom, and the plumbing fixtures are starting to go in. The left picture is standing in the hallway looking at the bathrooms, and you can see obviously the red accent tile at the entrance to those bathrooms. This is moving to Area A. So these pictures are the old auditorium area. So the left picture is the computer lab that occupies the upper section of the old auditorium. And then directly adjacent to that is the right picture with material processing area. I attempted, Jill, but I didn't do a very good job of. The glass that you see the blue X's on, Jill wanted me to try to illustrate that you can see directly through the entire old auditorium. So from one side of the hub to the other, you'll effectively be able to see through the shop area, through the computer lab, and into the other side of the hub, which is a neat design feature that be more illustrated better in person, I think. So right picture is in the center of the old auditorium, the materials testing lab. Overhead work is essentially complete. Floor prep was complete, and we received millwork to that area today. So the millwork's getting roughed in, and we'll be actually working through a flooring revision in those areas over the next couple weeks. Left picture is shouldn't be labeled computer area. That room in front of you actually is the future teacher workroom. for that wing off of Red Wing. This is one of the spaces that is colored yellow on that previous map, where we're able to substantially complete the space, but we can't provide the HVAC to it until a future phase. Science and Technology Room is off of the old auditorium, so it's in the circle, if you will, of the old hallway area. This room will be turned over shortly as well, and serves obviously the science and technology STEM portion of the building. This is the old kitchen, area D. So the left picture is the outside of it, masonry work complete, windows in. We moved the entrance door from where it was into the old kitchen to a new hallway that'll, or back entrance, if you will, that'll get you into the admin guidance area. The right picture is the inside of that area. So we had a decent amount of underground work that's been completed already, slab placed. Masonry walls in the backdrop or the far view of that right picture. You can see the wall up, and then we're actively studying the sheetrock walls that'll go in that area, which the majority of this area, as well as the majority of the area that'll occupy the future old cafeteria, is stud work and sheetrock walls as the admin and guidance areas. And then some cleanup work or recent eye candy that we've put up throughout the areas that were turned over previously. Some nice pin signage that went up for the auditorium, gymnasium. Scoreboard went up in the gym, and that nice sign below it just went up recently. So. Some specialty MEP areas that I just wanted to give you guys a good view of. So the main switchgear room was completed from a functionality standpoint a while ago, but it's now dressed and nice and clean and organized. So these are two good shots of where all the power for the building comes in and comes out of, and is complete at this point.
The electrical rooms and the mechanical room photos are specifically for Caitlin.
I love it.
Picture of the fire and domestic water room right next to it. So this is where the main water from the street comes in for both a domestic purpose and a fire purpose. The white insulation above on the piping you see in the middle of the picture is the domestic feed coming in. And then to the left in the picture where you see the big backflow setup is the fire pump setup that comes in, and it runs to that red pump that's on the big concrete pad, and dices into 7 different zones that get spread out through the building from a fire protection standpoint. This is the MDF room, so the main distribution frame room, which is basically the technology room, where the telephone and fiber comes into the building and gets diced up and sent from this room to other rooms, IDF rooms, which then further distribute it, as well as this room distributes to the local area around it from a technology standpoint. And that's today. I did not have a good shot of the boiler room. It was a little too messy to put on the slideshow, but the boiler room is up and running and in a very functioning form, but it needs some cleaning.
Unacceptable.
All right, does anybody have any questions for Gilbane, CMR? Awesome, everybody. So we'll move on to the owner's rep, CSG.
I'll let Sam start it.
Put the mic.
Sam, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can everyone hear me?
I thought she was on there, sorry. All right. Sorry.
Hi, everybody. So we are, like Jill mentioned before, in the process of turning over our next phase. So we have a couple moves scheduled for the upcoming weeks around Christmas. So on December 23rd, we're going to get ready to transfer over Green Wing to Gilbane so they can start doing their safety measures and getting ready to demo that area. In addition to that, after Christmas, we are going to start moving into Area A and Area H. and hopefully getting the teachers and all the student belongings settled and where they need to be. In addition to all that, we are planning on submitting another payment request to the state. After the meeting tonight, we're gonna process everything and send that into them. And I think that's all I had, unless Chris had anything else to add.
Nope. She covered it.
Okay.
Very good. All right, we're going to move on to the Budget Subcommittee. Everything that's being presented tonight went through the Budget Subcommittee and has been approved. Anything that was not approved, it will not be presented tonight. Mr. Scott Copen, please.
So we have 24 different motions, so.
Yep.
Yes, we do. It was a busy budget subcommittee meeting. First of all, the ATP approvals. I'd like to make a motion to approve ATP 138 Bulletin 26, Media Center coping and new main school sign for $110,067.
Seconded.
And that is pretty self-explanatory. That's the media center. We're doing some additional work to the exterior. And the new main sign is just that. We're going to be presented to P&Z a new sign, a digital sign in front of the building. So that is in the works to be presented to P&Z. Are there any questions or comments? Did we already have a second?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sorry. Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Next, make a motion to approve ATP 139 Bulletin number 29 and 29R RFI S460, basketball lighting and field storage in the amount of $182,347.
Second.
So again, pretty much self-explanatory. Since we do have some extra money, and we did take out the lighting around the basketball court early on to make sure we had enough money for the project, was added back in. This is also bringing power to the 2 storage containers out in the fields. One out in the field with a concrete pad will have power. Another one will be up a little bit higher towards the school. We'll also have a concrete pad and power, and that'll be used to house some of the equipment for Public Works to do maintain the property, instead of having to trailer it like all the other schools have equipment stationed at their schools. This does not include the containers. We are running into a situation where the containers 4 or 5 years ago were like $4,000. Now we're getting quotes at $12,000 to $14,000 per container. So we may end up reusing the existing ones from the town for the time being until we can get a reasonable price on them. The manufacturers that we spoke to, unfortunately, they're saying everything's being shipped to the West Coast. So the ones we have are made of gold, apparently, so. So this does not include the containers. So at some point, you will see another one for containers only. Are there any comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Next, I make a motion to approve ATP number 140, RFI number 487, locker rooms, demising doors, hardware change in the amount of $5,968.
Second.
Marcus, you want to just do a quick little explanation?
Yeah, so the locker rooms and the bathrooms that are integral with them, the existing hardware setup did not provide the functionality that the school wants. So unfortunately, to change it to the functionality they want, we need to order new doors, new lock sets, field modify the existing door frames for both of those setups to be like a classroom function lock set versus the lockable toggle set that's there now.
Any comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you.
Next, I make a motion to approve ATP 141, RFI number 492, Area A, existing interior column infills in the amount of $29,453.
Second.
So this, when last year and year before, the town of Enfield had a lot of the asbestos abated. They removed some caulking and bricks that were contaminated, and they put a metal container over it, like a cap or a facade. So when Gilbane pulled the container, pulled the facade off it, they realized that we found out that no brick was ever put back. So the column is there, and then there's gaps on both sides of all these bricks. So this is cost to infill it and grout it and caulk it and paint it accordingly. I will be reaching out to the town to see if that was something that was supposed to be done or if it was not intended because the renovation was already approved at that time. So are there any questions or comments? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Make a motion to approve ATP 142, removal of painted murals in Area A in the amount of $10,013.
Second.
So again, pretty self-explanatory. All the corridors, as you remember, they had these beautiful murals all over them. Our intent is to whitewash all the walls, so it's not really like a laminate or latex paint. It's more of a whitewash. So in order to get all the murals off the walls, in order to whitewash them, that's what it entails. Any questions, comments? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you. Unanimous.
Make a motion to approve ATP 143, RFI number 296, existing door frame modifications in the amount of $14,716.
Second.
Marcus, you want to explain some of this?
Yeah, so these are in area H and A, existing door swings, so the way the door used to swing versus the way the new door is going to swing. So the hinge location is not correct on the existing frame versus the new one. So I think 7 or 8 frames where we have to have an iron worker basically come in and cut new hinges in, weld new plates in place, fill in the old hinges, and it's still much cheaper than ripping out the door frame and putting in a new door frame.
Any other comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Make a motion to approve ATP 145, bulletin number 30, changes to site concrete benches in the amount of $11,623.
Second.
So this is a change in the proposed benches that were originally designed for the school. There will be a credit at some point once we negotiate with the concrete company. This is just to allow them to purchase it, receive them, and install them. Like I said, and then this is an estimate at this point just to allow them to move ahead. Once we receive the credit, this number would go down, but it's just to keep the ball rolling. Show of hands, all in favor. If there's no other comments or questions. Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
And our final ATP, make a motion to approve ATP 146, RFI number 486, additional unit heater in Power Room C110 in the amount of $17,158.
Second.
Marcus, you want to explain after you push your button?
Good. C110 is where the main fire alarm panel lives, and it's a room right in the addition that did not have a heat source in the original design. So we have a temp heater in there right now because if the fire alarm panel gets below a certain temperature, it accidentally sets off the fire alarm. So this is to get copper piping into that room and the power source into that room and hang a unit heater up in the corner inside the room that provides a heat source.
Any comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor. Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Okay, we'll move to our invoices first. Would be Gilbane. It make a motion to approve, and I believe it Gilbane, it's application number 26 is the invoice number, application number 26, dated November 30th, in the amount of $1,444,195.26.
Second.
Any discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Next, CSG, JFK, CSG. CSG Construction Solutions Group invoice, I make a motion to approve CSG Construction Solutions Group invoice number 23 dated November 30th in the amount of $80,710.87.
Any comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Next one, make a motion to approve JCJ Architecture invoice number 32 dated November 30th, 2021 in the amount of $46,679.80.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Next is, I'd like to make a motion to approve Extreme Customer Driven Networking quote, EXT 38849240001 in the amount of, it's just $719.20, right? $719.20.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Next one. Make a motion to approve Innovative Engineering Services LLC. It is 14 invoices that total to $53,515.
Second.
Either Chris or Sam want to just give an explanation of what they do?
Sure. So IES is the commissioning agent. They verify that all the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, equipment, and fixtures are installed and operating as per designed. The reason there's 14 invoices is they were created but were being sent incorrectly. So now we have them presented tonight.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Next, we have two motions for the vendor IMTL. The first motion is to increase their purchase order by $50,000 to a new PO value, of $171,599,000.
Second.
There's a second.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? So basically what this is allow them to continue on through the town with a purchase order. The original was an estimate. We're finding out that it wasn't enough, so we're just putting some more back into that purchase order. What does not get used comes back to the project. Any other discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
And the next motion would be to approve, and since there's just two of them, I'll read them off. Invoice 4707-N for $7,679.26, and invoice 4707-O for $2,460.25 in the total amount of $10,139.51 for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Next, we have Johnson Health Tech. So motion to approve invoice number 90029366695 in the amount of $81,234, and invoice 90029424228 in the amount of $13,990, for a total of $95,224.
Second.
Chris, would you like to explain just what they do?
Sure, this is an invoice for all of the fitness equipment that's been delivered.
Thank you. Any other questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Next, we have Red Thread for felt glides. We are going to approve a partial of invoice 873724 in the amount of $5,000.
Second.
The flooring system that we're using in JFK is different than what we've used in any of the other schools. It's not a hard tile surface that has to be stripped every year. When you walk down the hallways at all the other schools, you can hear the footsteps clanging. This is more of an absorbent type tile. And with that, the metal on the bottom of the chairs and the desks, we were afraid over time might damage them. So it's recommended that we purchase these caps that go underneath them, just to prolong the life of them. Minor, but just something we were trying to be more proactive than, what happened here and now what do we do? So that's what this is for. Any other comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Next, I'll make a motion to approve two invoices for Robert H. Lord Company. First invoice 34195-2A in the amount of $218,064.44. And invoice 34195-2C in the amount of $72,291.24. Total to be approved this evening, $290,355.68.
Chris, do you care to explain what they do?
Sure, so this is for all of the classroom furniture that's been delivered to date.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you very much, unanimous.
Next, I'd like to make a motion to approve 5 invoices for school specialty. The 5 invoices total to the amount of $42,287.74.
Second.
Chris, you care to explain what they do?
Yeah, so this is for a multitude of different items. Waste baskets, storage containers, bases, mobile carts, things like that. It's just kind of a collection of various smaller items.
Any comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
Okay, the next we have is, again, this will be two separate motions for TRC Environmental Corporation. First motion would be to increase purchase order 11801190-00 and 11801074-00 by a total of $17,687.
Second.
I'll give a little description.
Oh, it's still on. So TRC is the environmental monitor. They're on site when any abatement is occurring with the abatement contractor. They do all the testing and inspections, air clearance, sampling, things like that.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you very much, unanimous.
And the second motion for TRC Environmental Corp. is to approve 3 invoices that total to the amount of $98,570.
Any comments or, I'm sorry, any questions? Show of hand, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you.
Valley Communications 1. Okay, I closed down, I closed down Deer Valley Communications 1 open. I closed mine down. by
Can you
mistake.
give this to, can you give that to Scott?
All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve for Valley Communications invoice. It's actually application number 1 is the invoice number in the amount of $34,228.06.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you.
And then the second for Valley Communications would be number 2. They actually have the invoice number as well as application number 1. But this amount is for $160,824.70.
Second.
You want to give a little scenario what they do? Sir? Sorry.
Making notes here. So they provide all of the classroom audio visual equipment. This is to date as well, being installed.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you.
All right, and our final one is for GDT. It is, make a motion to approve quote number 120-12021CS in the amount of $1,950, and it's for 10 desk phones.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you very much, unanimous. And that concludes the budgets, the bills for this evening. We'll move on to old business, if anybody has any old business to bring up. If not, we will move on to new business. Don't believe we have any new business at this point. The Communications Subcommittee, how are we doing?
Very good. Everything seems to be going pretty well. No real updates.
Excellent. The Facebook page is great. We're going to be forward you the slides that we presented tonight, so you could put that on the Facebook page and or anywhere else that you guys put the stuff. Thank you very much. Anybody have any questions for the Communication Committee? All right. Our next meeting, let's see. We are scheduled, when are we scheduled? I don't have my calendar up, I'm sorry. I had it, but then I took it down.
So we would be scheduled for the third Thursday of December,
16th.
which would be December 16th.
Okay.
Do you want to leave it or remove it?
We can leave it at this time. We most likely would be sending out a cancellation unless something arrives. This way we have it reserved if we need it, but we paid most of the bills tonight, so I don't know if there's anything crucial unless, like I said, something comes up and we need to meet. So we'll keep it at this point. Everybody okay with that? Thank you. Committee comments. We will start with the liaisons. Welcome to the new liaisons. No comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that in addition to COVID being a reason that parents are not sending kids on the buses as per usual, there is now an increase with after-school programs. So you're going to see a lot more traffic at the 3:15, 4:15 times. The play was just announced, so they're kicking off that. There was a Best Buddies meeting. They have their student council meetings just started this week. I know this because my daughter's in all of these things. And basketball tryouts started this week as well. So there is an increase of after-school pickups, and regardless of using the bus or not, there's no buses at that time after school. So you're going to see a lot more parents at that time as well. So anything we can do to signage wise, et cetera. I've been sharing all communications from the principal and from the building on enfieldpto.com and our social media channels. But just anything we can do to expedite that, to make it easier for the 4 o'clock pickup parents that are probably new. If they were using the bus until now, there's less of them using the bus because of all these activities that are kicking up because it is that time of year. The only other question I had was, I was speaking to Mr. Dresnick about the potential of needing to knock a day off at JFK, either the day before or after winter break, the holiday break. Is that something that's still being discussed, considered, needed, et cetera?
Okay, yeah, we could talk about that offline.
Perfect, yep. Those are my 2 comments. Thank you. And thank you for all the work I was here at the beginning and I'm back, so I'm happy to work with the communications group as well. Anytime I see them post something, I've been sharing that. Anything that I've been posting through Enfield PTO on Facebook, et cetera, automatically gets 1,000 views. So anytime I see that there's a new post from you guys, I've been sharing it. So I'm happy to help continue with that as well.
Scott was part of the pre-ref before this was even accepted, so he's been involved literally from day one. Do you want to mention anything about the bricks?
Yes, while I have your attention, I'm sure you guys are familiar with this.
Practice this.
That's mybrick.com. If you go to enfieldpto.com/JFK, we are still offering the bricks that are going to be displayed around the flagpole at the new public entrance. We're still taking orders through the end of this calendar year. So anybody that reads the minutes of this meeting or that watches it outside of the 16 of us, I just wanted to remind everybody that those are still available. You can get something from your family that says, congratulations to the students of JFK from the Ryder family. These bricks will live as long as they live for the next 50, 60 years on property. So anytime that we can use that as a fundraiser for our PTO and to promote our new beautiful building, that we are taking orders again through the end of this calendar year. So thank you.
Thank you very much and glad to have you. Committee members, anybody have any comments? Anybody have any good to the order? Anything happy, nice? Oh, boy. Well, we had, tell about Cookies for Camouflage. That was a good turnout and great event we had.
Sure. Once again, the community came together, spearheaded by Lori Gates of Enfield Hua. I don't know what the count was, but we were there packing boxes all day Sunday. So again, it was a great community turnout. Our deputy mayor came down with a bunch of homemade cookies and dropped them off, and it was a fun afternoon.
And what are they for? Where do they get sent?
So there were 13 different recipients. They are all active duty military overseas, serving overseas. Actually, 4 of the recipients were receiving for a platoon. I believe the individuals received about 5 boxes of goodies, and then the bulk or the platoon recipients probably receive around 20 or so.
Yeah, a little over 20 boxes for each of the platoons.
And it's not just cookies. It's people. They make cookies, but then people drop off extra Halloween candy. I believe 2 Moms on a Mission organized socks again from Bombas, and they were being dropped off this week and sent over. And it's hygiene products, and it is a care package sent with love from Enfield. And
a lot of the schools, the children in the schools wrote notes too.
Yep.
Thanking them.
Year number 12, right? I believe it was year number 12
Yep.
of doing this. So it's grown. It's a great event.
Anybody else have any good to the order? Anything they want to positive then spread?
Oh, we've got the Torchlight Parade.
There you go.
Torchlight Parade and Carol Sing is happening this Sunday, right? 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock is the parade. Carol Sing is
7 o'clock.
7?
Right after.
So.
All right, if not, anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
We also have a Safe Grad event, Jingle Jam, this Saturday at the Elks, 6 p.m. All the proceeds go to the Safe Grad for the class of 2022. So everybody's welcome to attend that as well.
Excellent.
So in my best Greg Stritch impersonation, because he's out, not at the meeting today, I'd like to say, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Thank you very much. And a show of hands all in favor. Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you very much. That was unanimous. Have a great evening.